Alright, hello everybody, Rant here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Of course, like I said, there was going to be more and more updates practically every day, almost, at this point, almost every hour, giving more and more leaked information, of course, on the Reddits and the interwebs and all the goodies, as per usual. Whenever an update of any kind, like I said, for any game is coming up. So here we are, yet again. Let's go over this real quick. Not going to take too long on this one. It's a short post. Of course, from Beneficial Lab. Highly... Well, top of the Reddit post of leaks for Diablo Immortal, of course. So here we go. Let's see. Summary of the new version update contents. Let's see. Each week... I gotta move this. Hang on a second. Kind of doing multitasking here. There we go.
Show your skill. Impress them.
Hush, you.
You afraid of the demons?
NPC, damn it. Anyway, each week blank contracts can be purchased with gold from Niza, the NPC, to summon pets. Okay, so each week, weekly, we could do this. All pets can be traded in the market after reaching level 30. Now, let's try not to do that, and let's not blow up the market too much. Yeah, let's contain ourselves a little bit, because it's probably not going to be worth it necessarily to do so, unless of course, if let's say the pets get to level 30. This is speculation. Once they get to max level, let's say you can't upgrade their stats anymore with no matter what kind of gear or what have you that we're supposed to give to them for those upgrades. So in that regard, I kind of see how maybe then you'd want to like sell them off, but I don't know. I feel like that's probably a bad idea. So you're probably going to want to hold on to everything you got for as long as you can until you absolutely have to, especially as a free-to-play. Because we're just basically doing all the hard work and then giving them off to whales with all the platinum in the world to just, buy whatever they want anyway. So let's try and not do that. But anyway, I don't want to go on for too much longer than that. Let's see. Added Inferno 4, 5, and 6. Of course, we already discussed this. The new Inferno difficulties will drop new legendary items. So we're getting new legendaries again with the upcoming updates. New green sets and a new Paragon tree. It says new Paragon tree. That's implying, in that wording, it's implying one. But I feel like there's probably a translation thing somewhere. So we might be getting more than just one. I forget how many we got the last time. It was, I think, at least 2. So this time around, if we're getting 3 new, if we're getting 4, 5, and 6 Infernos, we're probably going to get more than just one Paragon tree. There's got to be more than just one. But I don't really know what the, I say this now. I don't know what those are. And then, an hour or two from me putting this video up or whatever, they'll have another post saying, "Oh, here's leaks on the new Paragon trees." It's like, okay, come on, just calm down, Anyway, this is honestly, I don't remember it being kind of this, kind of crazy as far as all this stuff just rolling out as much as it has. It's a little much. It's a little much, to be honest. I mean, yes, yeah, it gives me something to, put out for, like, as far as, like, content towards the game goes and such. That's great and all. But at the same time, you kind of want a little bit of surprise. But, we'll get into the, the meat and potatoes of it once it's fully released, and then we can actually get our hands on it ourselves firsthand, and then figure out what's what to keep, what to get rid of, yada, 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 that kind of thing, of course. But anyway, the gender function, yeah, we've already talked about that. Added legendary essence wishing function, we've talked about that in the last video as well. Battleground optimizations. Enabled cross-server matching for all servers. PvP modes. Attribute compression range adjusted. A new compression range allows you to better demonstrate your abilities. Battle power calculations in Battlegrounds will account for the benefits gained from pets. Okay, now there's an interesting change. Of course, we knew the pets were going to be another massive hit, good or bad, towards the PvP, but that's interesting about the this is battle power calculations, and then the new compression range for attributes. Okay, so they're gonna try to put you into, like, say, oh, you're almost 3K, or you're 2,500 substat secondaries to 3K. You guys all get put into a block. I'm down with that, because resonance at that point really doesn't mean all that much. It's all about your secondary stats. That means everybody's pretty much on as much of an even playing field that it could be possible. However, they still keep talking about stats. We still have not addressed the class imbalance yet. That's the biggest glaring issue of them all, is the class imbalance. If they can't bring that under wraps, then it's still not going to matter. You're going to have too much class favoritism still, as they have when they go and give us, like, I'm curious to see what the new legendaries are going to be, for one. And of course, we'll get a list of them, and then they'll be like, oh, in case of wizards, it'll be like, oh yeah, you guys get this, 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 but we're going to take this, 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 and this away from you. Or they won't say it, and it'll be a shadow nerf like they did the last time. And it's like, okay, you know, enough's enough with the BS, you know. Just calling it like it is, because it's happened without fail every single time. So let's see what else. And speaking about Battlegrounds, a quick note. I tried the loom in a couple matches. Of course, and the game punishes me for trying something different. I hate to say it, but that's just the way it is. It's like, oh, you're using this build now. It's not into our algorithm, of which we had you slotted for so long, so you're confusing our how we have you set up, so screw you. But yeah, the loom is absolute trash. It doesn't last for very long. The bubble is small, and let me just give you a good stark comparison. As it always is the case, there's always another class that does it better, unfortunately, than what the wizard had initially. We have the loom. The monk has the new bubble. The big, their bubble is like twice the size and lasts forever until you kill them, basically. And a lot of times, if you're stuck in it with them, you're gonna get beat down, and then that's the end of it. Or if you do happen to make it outside the thing, just barely surviving, they have enough. The cooldown's already off. They can put up another one. It's ridiculously stupid. That needs to be, I think, dialed down just a smidge. But yeah, in class comparison, wizard, monk, in that regard, loom versus the monk. I don't know what the name of the monk bubble is, but there's far outshines the wizard's one, because I even had, like, I think I had Feasting Baron on and Vithus, both set pieces, and it didn't make it last more than, like, maybe 5 seconds max. With the loom, it was very small. It wasn't even worth the effort. I know I'm going on a tangent here, but it kind of let's hide this for right now. Let's see if I still have the build on here. Oh yeah, I had it. The anti-skill. I thought, oh, okay, you know what? Let's try this out. Let's see what happens. You know, let's use it on, say, satyrs or something, and see if we can remove, if it strips. It doesn't strip their bubbles. It doesn't strip anything that they already have up. It might prevent them from doing anything while they're still inside. However, they can dash. You can just step like 2 steps outside this thing because it's so small. And I even used, oh, here it is. Yeah, there you go. May look kind of somewhat big here for a lane, but and then it's gone. It's gone. It's too short, and then the cooldown is too long on it to cast it again. It is not worth it. It is like the absolute worst possible skill. Only because there's so many other ones better. And the monk one is the one in particular that I have dealt with numerous times, and you're just basically screwed when you're inside. You're slowed. A whole bunch of other things. It affects your. It does hit you with a like some kind of crowd control tick. If you have Gladiator, you'll get your little thing to pop while you're inside there. It'll do damage to you, etc., etc. It's ridiculously stupid in how long it is and how large it is on both fronts. If it can be dialed down just a little bit, I think it'd be okay. It'd be a little bit more acceptable. But currently, as it stands, it's pretty busted and pretty stupid. But anyway, tangent aside now, let's get back to what I was going on about earlier. I did not mean to do that. Move you over here. Thank you. See. But yeah, that's very interesting about the Battlegrounds, and that's why I went off into the tangent like I did. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. Added new legendary gems. And a market review section. Market review section, okay. The marketplace will have a dedicated review section for items. So the review period will no longer occupy players' sales slots. Oh, okay. Anyway, adjusted the position of the stance switch button. Players can now change the position of stance switch button in the settings to prevent misclicks during combat. Well, on PC it's just tab, so there's no real misclicking it. And I don't use it as often as I should, but I just really hate the long cooldown that it has. So I rarely use it, but when I do, I use it in the case of Wizard for defensive. I use it for that extra stun to kind of give me a little bit of extra breathing room, depending most times. But then most times, more often than not, there is no extra breathing room and you're already dead. So that's why it doesn't get a lot of use. And I still don't see it being a lot of use for any class, to be honest, in that regard, because the time to kill is just way too short of a window. However, you got some classes that have like 4 or 5 cheat deaths in a row, so it's really stupid there as well. So I guess there's that. Let's see. That honestly, I think needs to be adjusted a bit too. There's too much. I don't know. They talked about like the lethality being too high, but it's like, well, yeah, because you did every update. You just basically made us do more and more damage. So what did you expect? And then they go and turn around and say, "Oh, now you can bandage through dots." And it's like, now that has become questionable as of late as well. I'll use a bandage sometimes, and then I'll have like stacks of dots, and I'll heal through some of it, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, the bandage will just stop working. I've had that happen to me on more than one occasion. I feel like that's a bug that's kind of like getting worse as time goes on. I've had it before where I've had multiple stacks of, dots, and I'll be able to get my full bandage off. Granted, I'll still probably take ticks afterwards, but I'm able to do the full bandage heal. But lately, I've noticed a few times it just kind of says, no, it's gonna just cut off short, and your bandage is on full cooldown. You barely got any heal out of it, and basically you're just gonna get the wind's gonna blow over and kill you. Anyway, more ranting. It's very pertinent to what happened recently with Battlegrounds. It's gotten really kind of dumb for me. I didn't play as much recently as I had been up to the point of getting to legend rank, of course. And then I kind of took, I was like, okay, good. I got to legend rank. I'm going to take a break for a little while. I don't really care where I'm in the standings. And it's funny because sometimes I dropped like all the way down to 10th, and then other times I didn't play for like a couple days in Battlegrounds, and I'd be back up to like 5th. Because the other people would be taking, losses, and because the point system in the Wizard bracket that I'm in is so close by like 5 points from each other, it's ridiculously stupid. But so I'm kind of over it, because I did have the losing streak myself, where it's like, no, we're gonna adjust you, because I had a win streak before that, and of course I knew it was coming. Because that's how it always works. And then lo and behold, down the list we go, and then I even got knocked all the way back into Gold 5, got the next win to knock me back into Legend again, and I was like, this is where I'd like to stay by the end of each week, of course, to get the in-game mail reward, at least just for that alone. But other than that, I'm over it. I'm over it. It's just a constant up and down. The game does it to you on purpose no matter what you do. Like I said, the only ones I look forward to are the ones that are actually somewhat, are good back and forth games that are like the medians of everything, which is where they should be, and they should be like that all the time. But the game has, that algorithm set to where they want to, for one, force you to spend, or force you to feel compelled to spend, which you shouldn't still. It's a dirty trap. We know it's in there. It's just business model, sick as it is, it's there. And they adjust you, to keep you like almost at that 50-50 no matter what. So, knowing all that, that's how it is in pretty much almost every PvP game out there. Their algorithm systems that they have for these things are pretty atrocious. I have yet to see the games that I've played in the past that were any good. They're all about the same. They're all about pretty trash. But anyway, this video is going on way longer. I'm going off on a tangent here. I'm sorry. But there's a lot of things that have come to like my utmost attention in Battlegrounds as of late that are far more glaring than a lot of things before. So like I said, with the adjustment of the patch in the video I did earlier, saying I've noticed certain things, but now I'm noticing more again. And some people are saying, hey, it's been a great time for them. That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. And other people say, oh, it's the absolute worst. It's worse than it ever has been. I hear you there as well, and I feel you just the same, because there are moments where it's like wildly, it's one way or the other. And then, like I said, the few far in between ones that you get that are, tight matchups, and it's a nice back and forth. Those are the ones that are worth the time playing. Then those are it. That's it. If there would be more of those, if they can dial that in for everybody, and I mean everybody, whales, free to play, everybody, if they can dial that in for everybody, that would be great. They haven't got it yet because they can't do class optimization very well. They obviously class balancing. They can't do any of that. That's obvious up to this point. They're terrible at it. So until they can figure that out, they can keep adjusting, like they said here in this post about the stats. They can keep adjusting the stats all they like, thinking that's going to make a difference. Maybe it will. It will to some degree, yes. But when you're getting thrown against, like if you're on a team of all ranged on attack against all melee on defense, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, you're going to have a hard time, and you're probably going to end up losing, because it's just the way, you're getting stonewalled. And then there you go, that's a forced loss. So, yeah, if they can ever balance the class optimization, the class balancing, and balance the amount of melee and ranged on both teams, if they can, put two of each, you can have two of each on every side, on both sides, It's not that bad. They can do that. They can factor that in. But until they do, we're going to still be dealing with it. Oh boy, sorry about that rant. If you hung in this long, more power to you. I appreciate you. Let's go on to the next thing. Switch stance. Okay, now added equipment enhancement and Heliquary, new catch-up mechanisms. Quick skip for stories is available. Returning players on new servers can also enjoy the AI companion feature. What is this? AI companion? We get somebody else to, we get a mercenary to run around with us? Well, of course it says returning players on new servers. So, F the rest of us, I guess, huh? We don't get that cute little thing. It'd be nice to just have, playing solo, maybe even doing solo dungeon runs with the new events that pop up when come time to the patch. That'd be great just to have, like, hey, I'm taking a merc with me. Like Diablo 3. Even Diablo 2. Diablo 2 had mercs. But yeah, I remember them Mosley in Diablo 3 being more worth the effort. But anyway, all right. Random special events and oh, there it is. Random special events and dungeons and Soul Trial. We mentioned this. Tower defense mode. We mentioned that one as well. Rite of cleansing daily activity. I have no idea what that is. And then there's whatever this thing is, 12 with a bunch of X's. I have no idea what that means. And I'm not entirely sure what the picture to go along with that is exactly, other than a Heliquary boss of some kind. But, and then back to a point some people were kind of confused about. They heard about where classes can be like getting other class skills, cross skills, cross class skills. It's going to be an event. It's not going to be a permanent thing. It's going to be an event to do that in. Obviously, they wouldn't just throw that out there because then they just basically collapse the whole game, and then a class system means absolutely nothing at that point. Which they're borderline with some of the decisions they've made up to now. But still, if they did that, it'd be forget it. But yeah, it's going to be an event that has that in it. It might be the Soul Trial or the Tower Defense mode, one of the two. I'm not entirely sure, but it's going to be an event. It's a separate thing. It's only going to be for a limited time. So enjoy it when it comes around, and have a blast with it. We'll see how that goes, but don't think it's going to be like for permanent across all aspects of the game, because that would just be completely busted. More so than how things already are, because like I said, they can't class balance for anything to save their life. But alright, I've rambled on long enough. This went on, of course, as per usual, with how once I start getting going on off on a tangent, especially when it comes to like recent Battleground stuff. I'm very I don't want to say passionate, that's not really the word here, but I'm very like that it's really on the needle, on the point for me, because I'm in there enough times, a lot, especially from free-to-play perspective, that's harder than anything else imaginable. So it's kind of masochistic, but yeah, those are the things that I've noticed recently. I did want to make a separate video on that, but then this kind of turned into it because they brought this up, the battleground optimization again. Which is funny because I'm actually happy to see that they're doing it more frequently than not now. I'm just going to close this for right now and run around. But yeah, I am actually happy to see that they've done more of a... it's happening more frequently. Instead of like, we went months without any kind of changes when we were like, basically at this point screaming at them saying, hey, you got to do something about this. And then they finally did a few things, but most times they made things worse in the process, but still at least they did something. Now we're seeing changes a little bit more frequently than not, which is good, but again, class balance, class balance, class balance, class optimization. Can't say it enough. And then class pairing in Battlegrounds needs to be a bit more even on both sides, attack and defense. Period. That's it. All right, I've said enough. There's the the good old Reddit post that we're, like I said, we're gonna keep seeing as time goes on. It's just gonna they're just gonna keep rolling out as they have been. I'll try to keep everybody up to date if there's anything worth noting. I've ranted on this one a bit, probably more than I should have, but I feel like I felt compelled once I started to get going just to keep that train going. So again, thank you if you listened to me this entire time. I really do appreciate it. Forget my rambling. If you like it, appreciate you more than you know. And as always, if you please, do the YouTube things. Like, comment, share, subscribe to help the channel and support it in that fashion so we can keep it on. And until the next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Stay safe out there in the world on fire. Bye-bye.